Hello, Africa. Hello, world. It is African Economic Merit Awards, an organization touching lives beyond you. My name is McEva Temofe, and today I am with the distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Abiodun Olujimi. How are you today, ma'am?
Fine, thank you. It's good to have you.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about the impact you're making in different communities in Nigeria and how you have actually, as a woman, stood your ground among the senators in the Nigerian Senate. How has that been for you?
Well, it's been a bittersweet thing. It's not been too bad because over the years, God has made it possible for us to increase, and that is probably the joy for some of us. The women have come out of their shells to participate in governance, and we are doing great, even though there are challenges.
Okay, ma'am, we have a lot of youths these days who are done with their educational life and they don't actually look at going into like the labor markets. They start their own business. Is it an effect on the Nigerian economy, or what were the challenges for you as you with your educational life in Nigeria?
I feel for the youths of today because it's not as easy for them as it was for us. In my own time, it was easy to get a job. In fact, you were headhunted while at school, and jobs were available. Because don't forget that Nigeria was not as populated as it is now, and there was deliberate arrangement for youths to get into gainful employment. But whichever way you look at it, from day one, starting your own business has always been the better side of life because it gave you time to build yourself, to come to terms with what you want to do as a human being and to build on it for the future. And we found out that many people who broke out on their own did very well. A few people fell by the wayside. But those of them who employed themselves were able to focus attention on the building blocks of the business and ensuring that the business took fruit because they knew everything depended on the business. What we found was that people who got employed with government were not very diligent and not as deliberate. They were always looking forward to the next month's salary, which had already been programmed. And that is the reason why some of our people are a bit lazy these days because they knew what to expect. They could plan their lives on the little they would earn. And for the few that were very strong, they would also plan to have something on the side to do to complement what they get from government. At times, that conflicted with the office work, but that is the general outlook of using your education to get a living, because that is the end product of being educated.
So do you think in a society like Nigeria, should entrepreneurship be introduced as a course in our institutions?
It's been a long drawn debate, but over the years, government has been able to infuse some sort of entrepreneurship education into learning. Whether we like it or not, we must inculcate the entrepreneurship process into our learning. Because if you leave school without thinking about entrepreneurship, you might find out that you'll be on the employment market for too long. What do you do with the waiting period? You need to be able to use your hands, to use your skills, to use what you have to get what you want. Skills acquisition is key to whatever any youth is doing now. That is why there was this issue of retraining. When you get your education, it's paperwork. You must retrain yourself to be able to employ yourself in whatever skill you are interested in. And that is the reason why, as legislators, most of the time we do skill acquisition for all our teeming youths that have been waiting to get government paid jobs for years and have not been able to come by it. The time has come for us to start using our hands, our brains, and the skills that we can acquire to get things done in a better way.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator. And in a society like ours, Nigeria, where gender equality is not equal, please tell us, how did politics come to play as a family woman, whereby you have loads of friends? What were the challenges?
Well, I was just one of the very, very lucky ones because it was my husband that was in politics.
Okay.
And then because I had done a few good things for the community now said, no, this is the woman we want to contest elections. And so my husband had to take the back seat. And it's been so since then. However, it's been a roller coaster because in Nigeria, the gender is a major encumbrance for your movement. If I possibly were not a woman, I probably would be aspiring to be a president right now or to be a vice president. The reason is simple. I have been able to build friendships. I have been able to garner experience, and it would have been the next thing to do. However, because I am a woman, I am even struggling to retain my seat, to still be in the parliament.
So from the onset, your husband has been a supportive system to you.
Without him, I won't be where I am.
So for a lot of people aspiring to be where you are today, distinguished senator, with their husbands not supporting them, how should they go about this? Most especially the younger ones.
You need to get that support. That support is what will give you the bottom line that you need to be anything in politics.
So as a woman, quickly ma'am, who and what inspired you to say, you know what, Abiodun, it is politics and nothing?
Well, it wasn't politics and nothing. It was journalism and nothing.
Journalism?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I was a journalist all my life. And so, and I had covered so many political events. So I could empathize with politicians. I could see where they're coming from. It was a learning curve for me when I eventually got into politics and saw that what we read in books really don't tally with what
it is in the real life.
Is in real life. So it was easy for me to say politics because I found out that if you don't lend your voice, charlatans will do same. And you will not be able to complain. Because that is what we see these days. Our youths go on the sidelines. They're on social media complaining. No, you must get on the train. When you are on the train, you'll be able to change bits and pieces as you go along. And it's those bits and pieces that come together finally. And so it was, so this is it. If I am not in it, then I have no right to complain. And so I said, then we will be in it. We will bring more people into it so that we also can say we were part of the system. We will win together or we will have our challenges together.
So for the youth who are aspiring to actually go into politics but do not have or do not know the means of going into it, how do they become participants in politics
That
and
is
make
where
impact?
that is where learning and mentorship comes in. What you find is that many people don't believe they need to be mentored. The youths believe they can read it up on Google. Google knows it all. That's the language in my home. When you say anything, they say, okay, I'll check it on Google. And so well, they believe they can read it up. You cannot read the experience you need in politics. You have got to be in it to make up your mind you want to be part of it. To ensure that you follow someone who also can navigate the routes. It's not easy to completely navigate the routes. Someone who can navigate and who can teach you the right way. You will know that in the past they say politics is dirty business, but it's as dirty as you make it, because you can go into it with all honesty and clarity of purpose, and you get what you should get done in it. And so you need to be mentored, you need to follow, you need to watch, you need to be part of the system. You need to go from the rudiments, be battered, be injured, and then come out of it a better human being. It's not something you read in the books. The bookwork has never tallied all those Machiavellian.
So you just made mention of being mentored, for the youth to get mentored. As a woman who ventured into this politics career, who inspired you?
I learned from the older men who were in it.
You want to mention a few?
Oh, chief of who are a man that is on the periphery of politics, but is dyed in the wool, Kenny Martins. And of course, the late Dr. Olushola Saraki, who really took me through the gamut of politics. And he was a very patient person because we made mistakes all the way. But when you make a mistake, he calls you and tells you that was a wrong move. Do it this way and you might be able to get better results. And we learned. We picked bottles.
As you were picking
We
bottles.
clapped.
Okay.
We cheered. Many people don't want to do that now. They want to come from the top into it, and it doesn't work.
And as you were picking bottles, what was there a time in life you almost gave it all up and said no more?
Several times. I mean, you get to a point, people are so rude and so nasty, and you get undeserving comments up until now, and then you just feel like, ah, no, I'm done. But you see, I've had a problem all the while. When I get home and I say, I'm done, and I say to my husband, I'm done, don't ever tell me to go back there again. No, I'm done, I'm broken. He will say, oh, so they did that to you? Yes, you should really leave. I believe you should leave. Okay, just go and relax. Just take it off your mind. But you are not going back. Then the next morning, he calls me and says, when you fall off a horse, you must mount the horse again. When you say it is over, then you are not challenging yourself. Go back there. Show them what you are made of.
In your youthful days as a journalist and trying to venture into politics, in your youthful days, what were your biggest distractions?
Biggest distractions, the fact that a woman was not allowed to do what she should do because I was married and I had to look after my kids. And you know, I was one of those few women who were really challenged with childbirth. So I was forever going in and out of the hospital, losing pregnancies until I was able to break through. And so it was a great distraction. I wanted to put my all into journalism, but I knew that I needed a backup, which was family. And that is what is sustaining me now. If I hadn't put that effort in, it would have been tough today because now I have the buffer. When they say rubbish back there, I can come home and say, I'll send my son or my daughter to come and talk to you. And then there's this respect that
Comes with it.
she has built her family and she has something to fall back on. It's not easy. But then, if you are committed to being in it, you must weather the storm.
Okay, so for the women in politics who do not have a husband, children to fall back on, how would you encourage them to not give up?
Well, the important thing is not to give up and to be determined. What we find is that when you are unmarried, they usually don't want to give you very important jobs that will put you in the eye of the people because they want to build a reputation that you are properly grounded. But over time now we're finding young people going in there, showing their mettle. What is important in all of this is capacity, capability, and the can-do spirit. When you have the can-do spirit, you will be able to surmount all those pitfalls that can come your way as a young woman. But for those who don't have family, that is neither here nor there, because at a point you will have. And it's important because when they drive you from that crazy place, you need somewhere to run to. When you have nowhere to run to, you are broken. And that is why many people are broken in politics, because they dump everything and come alone. And so when they do ugly things to you, you can't run back to get a shoulder to cry on.
Wow. So if you were to turn back the hands of time to your 20s, what career would you have chosen? What would you have done?
I would have been in politics, but I would have done it better. I would probably have been a great activist. And by now we would have ensured that there will be parity, not equality, parity between our gender. Because right now, the women are just struggling to find their feet. If you look at the Senate, there is no time that there has been 15 women amongst 109. There is no time that the House of Reps or the entire houses of assembly in Nigeria have had women that made up even 10% of their population. That is unfair. It is not because one is a feminist. I am not a feminist. I'm a humanist. I believe that I have female children and male children. And there is a need to make all of them feel responsible in life, feel responsible to development, feel equal to each other, so that as they grow, they can add value to themselves and to each other.
Do you see a woman presidency in Nigeria before you call it a quit?
I know, that's almost impossible. It's almost impossible for Nigeria. In a Nigeria where we're still struggling to get the National Assembly to accept 35% representation, you're talking about a female president? No. In my time, I know it is near impossible, but I know that the children we have bred and given the opportunities in life to express themselves, to be who they are, to make first class, and to use their brains, will, in the shortest period, get to that point.
Thank you so much, Senator Abiodun Olujimi. This has been an insightful discussion with you. And before we call it a quit, I would like you to share a message to African and Nigerian youth who are struggling to get a life, to stand on their feet, and to become who they want to be in a society where there is no provision for what you aspire to be.
Well, my brothers and sisters, I grew from nothing. My father was a photographer, my mother is seamstress. They had only one room. We lived in only one room with all my siblings. I have grown to this level because of the can-do spirit and because I have chosen to do it the right way. Do the right way. Get the can-do spirit. You will surpass where we are now.
Thank you very much. Please follow us on social media, African Economic Merit Awards, and also McEva Temofe. Have a wonderful time. God bless you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Senator Abiodun.
Thank you.
God bless you.